You are not too weak for God. His love is strong enough to carry you through. There have been many times in my life when I felt so weak, yet God's love was strong enough to carry me through. Here are some of the ways that He has helped me find strength. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. You are not too weak for God. His love is strong enough to carry you through. You can easily be overwhelmed by the challenges in your life, but God never leaves us alone. He is always there with us and listening when we call out to Him. If you're having a hard time getting through something, don't worry, God will be right there with you until the end of days. God's grace is sufficient for all things, even when they seem impossible or overwhelming. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. From this perspective, it seems like nothing can stop us from trusting in His strength and power. However, if we fail at times, then it only means that He has forgiven our mistakes so that we can continue moving forward as best as possible despite them being difficult times at first glance. Even though it may seem like there's no way out, you can always turn to God for answers. He has a plan for each one of us, and He knows exactly what's going on in our lives. We are all loved by Him, so don't forget that. You're not alone on this journey. God is with you every step of the way. This is the message that we want to share with you today. God's grace is sufficient for all things, even when they seem impossible or overwhelming. You can find the strength to keep going even when you feel weak. God's love is enough. You are not too weak for God. His love is strong enough to carry you through. God's love is unconditional and all-encompassing, which means it doesn't depend on anything else but itself. It doesn't need your approval or your actions, it just exists because it does. And when you find yourself struggling with something in your life, or if there are times when things seem too hard for you to handle, it can help remind us that nothing is impossible with God. God's love is the only thing that matters. Why do we struggle so much? Why do we feel like there isn't enough time in our schedule? Why do we struggle with self-control issues? Because these struggles come from our attempts at control over other people's lives instead of letting go and trusting what He has planned for us and theirs. It is our human nature to want to control things, and when we can't do that, it can cause us anxiety. But in the end, we can choose to let go of these struggles because God's love is bigger than anything else we could ever imagine. God's love is more powerful than any human emotion we can feel. It is more powerful than our fear of failure and rejection. It is more powerful than our desire to control others' lives. It is more powerful than our own selfishness. And when we choose to let go of these things, it opens up a place in our hearts for God's love to flow through us. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. This verse reminds us that God's strength will be ours when we are weak. His love and strength will carry us through when we feel like giving up on ourselves. When we feel like we can't take another step. When we are so tired that we want to sleep for 1,000 years. When our hearts are broken and our spirits crushed by the weight of life. When we can no longer hide our pain from others or ourselves. This is when God's power is made perfect in weakness.
Bible quote from Luke 13 verse 30. Some are last who will be first, and some are first who will be last. The first are those who get ahead in this life by defying God's commandments and are therefore condemned by God in the afterlife. They are the self-serving, prestigious, and selfish. The last, on the other hand, are those who are rejected by the world but will receive a great reward in heaven. They are the ones who will receive a great reward in heaven. Jesus reveals Himself and His gospel in a similar manner. He came to earth as the Messiah of the Jews, His original covenant people, and He later revealed the gospel to non-Jews, the Gentiles. The gospel will be restored first among the Gentiles, and it will eventually go to the Jews. In the ways of the world, it is survival of the fittest. If they are first, they deserve to be first, but Jesus turns this on its head by saying, "The last will be first, and the first will be last," Matthew 20 verse 16. Jesus' words are directly opposed to the way that the world operates.
Thank you very much for staying. We hope that you have picked up some good thoughts for you to use and apply in your daily lives. If you like what you have heard from this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel Richard's One Inspirationals. Click the bell symbol in order to be aware of the new videos that we release every Wednesdays and Sundays. God bless you, and with God's guidance, together let us be an inspiration to others. See you on the next video.